That reminds me of a Kansas man. A 68-year-old virgin comes to Texas to take my erotic massage class. I've never touched a vulva before. I don't even touch myself. His therapist said, "Hey, you go see that Charla Hathaway in Austin. She's an erotic healer." She'd read my books. And so this very fit gentleman, very handsome man, comes and sees me and tells me why he shied away from women his whole life. When I was in grade school, there was a big girl, years older than me. She used to chase me and pin me down on the playground, forcing her kisses on me. I told the teacher, but she didn't do anything. And that year going to school, that was a curse. Very frightening. This gentleman is here for my massage class and anatomy on the female. My friend is my model for the class. And I demonstrate full body strokes and genital strokes. My Kansas student asked some interesting questions like, "What do you mean women have 3 holes? Are you sure?" The rest of the students, I think we're just really proud that he's there. And he touches his first woman from a position of choice this time, and with gloves on, because that's the protocol. He decides to stay for the class on the male body. He wants to learn about self-pleasuring and the prostate massage and other pleasures maybe he hasn't known. And after the male class, he wants his own sensual massage. I'm really surprised at how easily he takes to the breathing and to receiving touch. Maybe because we made all of the boundaries up front. And therefore, he felt in control again, not some playground bully. After his massage, about getting ready to leave, he wants me to sign him a copy of my book and says, "I have never been this relaxed. I had no thoughts, only feeling. And I want to find a woman to share this kind of touch with in my golden years. I'll never forget this day." Oh. And my Kansas man returns a couple years later, this time with his fiancée. They want to be better lovers for each other. So I welcome him into my Body Joy studio. I'm the good witch with the click of the heels and the touch of a wand. Like bluebirds, we fly over the rainbow. We're not in Kansas anymore. An Alabama man wants to model for me his vintage women's underwear. Joseph emerges from my bathroom wearing a lace black bra and a long cream-colored slip, and underneath that another black slip showing, and on top of that a hot pink slip, a half one. I like him better with each slip. His garter belt holds up a flesh-colored seam up the back vintage hose, and on top of those a pair of fishnets. I guess you can't have too much of a good thing. Joseph, do you like the swish, swish feel of silk between your legs? Oh, women, they get all the best clothes. I teach Josephine how to sit like a lady and to sashay up my stairs and bend over to fix her heels. My studio becomes a model's runway and teach her to sashay down it, caressing her curves and bulge. I can see why men would love this. Joseph, I think you are very brave to allow yourself such pleasure. In the slip that he gifted me, I slide my body up and down his, silk on silk, feeling his thickness and hardness. I play with his wand through layers of silk. Oh, it feels like there's lube on my fingers. Lube? Oh, I never use lube. You have had so much intimate touch without lube. I gift him my bottle. Voila, silk underwear in a bottle. I invite Joseph over for tea after one night. Does your wife know about your love of women's underwear? Oh, not really. I buy her nice lingerie, but she always says, can't the panties be cotton? How did you fall in love with women's underwear? He tells me a story. When I was growing up, my best friend's mother, she was a petite, pretty woman. Her father brought her back from England as a bride. I loved her accent. And on those hot Alabama summer days, sometimes she'd just wear bra and shorts around the house. They asked me to feed the fish when they went on vacation one time. And alone in their house, I would go up to her room and open her dresser drawer and take out her underwear piece by piece. And always put it back right in the right spot, perfectly folded. Joseph, has you told your wife this story? Oh no, you need to. I appreciate you more now, just knowing your story, and she might too. The truth can make people fall deeper in love. It's vulnerable. But then, what's intimacy? Oh, mi corazón, I so desire intimacy. A Latino rock star comes to see me from a family of famous Mexican musicians. Something tells me to refrain from my normal questioning, and we sit in silence, holding hands, looking at each other's eyes. And he leans back on the pillow, starts to talk. When I was a teenager, my father, he used to encourage us, and my brothers, also musicians, to sleep with many women and to bring them home to fuck, just like he did, laughing with his beautiful young admirers at our family table, while my mother, she'd cook and serve them and clean up. This tender son felt sorry for his mother, serving his father's girlfriends. He's aware of his privilege, of his gender, the freedom that his sisters and mother don't have. He grew up with the expectation of being a musician and a womanizer. Oh, this tender soul before me confesses, Oh, mi corazón, I am so desire intimacy, but I am foreign to it, and I so want it yet in the sunset time of my life. I'm aware how quickly two people can become intimate by a mere confession. A seasoned performer on stage, cheered by countless fans, and having choice of many women, still longs for intimacy. This sunset man, somewhat lost, but not giving up the search. What do I have to offer him? A sensual massage, a intimacy tip? But yet, I realize he did not come here for answers. He came to be witnessed. Witnessed for the callous father that he had, for a mother he can't change the world for, brothers who, like himself, were taught women are dispensable, and sisters that face a mountain of injustice, straining relations and intimacy between the sexes. As we lay in the afternoon sun, close enough to feel his heat, his heart, and smell his goodness, I realize without doing anything, all is done. I listened. He told his story. Isn't that simple? We show up, tell the truth, and open our hearts to whatever comes.
Where troubles melt like lemon drops.
One day, I became Louise for Richard, an elderly man. He tells me the story of Louise from his childhood. When I was a boy, my father used to beat me, starting at age 4. My older cousin Louise came to visit when she was 19. And sometimes I would go up to her room and she would hold me close to her warm body and tell me, "You are safe with me." She said she would protect me from my father. And she was almost 6 foot tall, slender, and strong. I still remember her gardening with long legs and a big smile. Up until the time when she moved away when I was 7. She would invite me on occasion to her bed and let me lie next to her with my head between her breasts. She'd tell me to touch her softly, like she was touching me. She would cup my penis with her hand and have me cup her mounds. She would move and make sounds. Later I realized it might have been orgasm. She'd tell me that I was a precious child, smart and beautiful. She saved me from my father. Richard went on to be a high-ranking spy for our Secret Service. He confesses, under the Berlin Wall, in a tunnel, I killed a man, up close, by hand, looking into his eyes when he died. The German guard was probably a father whose children will never see him again. I still see his eyes. Though Richard and I had just met, he didn't feel like a stranger. He tells us about his father, that he never felt strong enough or tough enough, brave enough for him. Listening to him, I can tell he's haunted by his life. He asks me, "Will you be Louise again for me?" I hold him close, like Louise, and rest his head on my shoulder, between my breasts, and tell him, "You are a precious child, smart and beautiful." Shortly after we met, Richard died. And I hope I gave him some moments of peace. And I hope Louise was there for him. Abby, Goddess Abby. Late 20s, Abby, she wants a sex-positive community, one she doesn't have to be small in or filter herself. Fleshy and curvaceous, she's ready for some big relating. I give men great erotic massages, but I bet I could learn to do better. And Abby, I bet you receive some nice massages from men too, right? No, not really. Men don't reciprocate that kind of touch. They don't? No. Men don't offer massages. Well, they don't offer me massages. They just want to fuck. And what do you want? Did you ever ask for a massage? Abby, like a lot of women and men who come to see me, want to learn how to give more. Good loving is about giving, right? I think most of us haven't learned to be very good receivers. Because that's the hard part. Oh, it's more vulnerable and less control. So I like to turn the tables on my clients. And I teach people how to be good receivers so they can give more. Abby, do you deserve to receive great erotic massages from men? How do you teach self-worth? I grapple with my own. I've done my share of pretending and faking. Not so much anymore. I do feel that I deserve great things from a partner. So how did I get here? I think of the young women like Abby that I meet at bachelorette parties where I'm invited to present. The girls in their 20s and 30s, they all want to learn how to give a better blowjob, or hand job. So I show up with a dozen bananas and rubbers put on them. Girls are so curious, they ask so many questions about me. How did I become a sex worker? Or how I use my invisible rope to tie a man down to slow him up. Or the kissing game, how it makes men better kissers. Girls are curious about me, and they love my stories, and my willingness to show my partners what I like, and even take the lead in a sexy way. We don't even get to the bananas. Sorry, guys. I tell the women to take the egg timer off their orgasm and listen to their own body. Here's my rule. If my panties aren't wet, they don't come off. The girls love it. They take their wine glasses. Oh, Charla, cheers. Oh, Abby and I talk about women reclaiming the divine feminine and that spark in us, the goddess that deserves to be revered, appreciated, and celebrated. So, Abby, what are you doing to nurture that part of you so you can receive all the wonderful things you give? I get an email from Abby the next day. Going home, I asked that goddess part of me, how did she want to be honored? She asked for a temple. So I spent the day redecorating my room to really a truly warm and divine place. I found some paintings that I did of nudes from a class many years ago. And I picked my favorite one and framed it and put it up on in my temple. And I'm ready to receive and give in this room. I think I'll put on my goddess robe. Abby is learning to receive, and Charla is learning how to play. I'm in an unusual mood when a new client, Mike, comes over. I've just come back from a fantasy workshop, and I'm intrigued how our fantasies, like our dreams, can teach us things. It's like we can play with the taboo, not only to get off, but to heal. So I take a risk and ask Mike, instead of a massage, would you like to act out a fantasy with me? I'd like you to be my daddy. All right. As two little kids, well, actually, we're consenting adults. We decide on the rules. 1, a safe word. 2, ask before touching. And 3, if something's not right, you tweak it. I begin. Buttoning his shirt, one delicious button at a time. Excited, he tries to help me feign a whipping move. He catches on instantly. Men are so smart. Daddy, may I sit on your lap? I climb up onto Daddy's lap in my pretty dress, straddling his wide hips and feeling the bulge under my ruffles in his pants. It feels hot and safe. I tease my breasts up close to his mouth, and he pulls me close. No reaching. I come to you, not you to me. I'm a little girl with all the power in the world. I touch his soft lips, so warm, and I have an aha moment. If I love my daddy fantasies so much, I bet men love their mommy fantasies. The idea just fans hotness. I whisper, "You're such a good little boy." He takes the bait. "Oh, I just want to make my mommy happy." There we are, graduated from little girl to mommy. I sink my way deeper into his ruffled trousers, feeling his goodness and soaking in his hardness. I follow my turn on. "Oh, you make mommy so happy. You're my favorite little boy." I give him directions for little kisses and all the words I want to hear. And without even skin-to-skin contact, I'm so turned on, I could come at any moment. Oh, I sink my hips deeper into his. Say, oh, baby, oh, you treat your mommy so good. Why do you suppose we're always calling each other baby? We're so into our roles. It's like the dialogue itself is taking us over the edge. Oh, you feel so full. Your cock feels so big. Size is relative. And mommies are always encouraging their babies, right? I'm channeling the mother goddess now. Oh, fill me with joy. Just fill me up. Mommy, mommy, can I come now? Yes, yes, come. Spill your joy. And he does, releasing 1,000,000 tiny little baby souls into the universe. Men create life as much as women do. Whew. Wow. Well, bringing our session to a closure, we come out of fantasy, back into the present for a share back. That's my job. And Mike and I share what it was like. Hot. Natural. Unshaming. It was like the unending play that we knew as children, where we just kind of made it up as we went along, except adults are nicer than children. You know, Mike and I see it, our play, as an archetypal level, not a personal. In my work, I feel like I'm learning alongside my students. We're either both healing or no one is. Oh, playfulness. When did sex get so serious? And when can we start to play again? Ernie, 62, comes to see me because he doesn't feel sensation in his cock anymore. Oh, I've done it all. Porn doesn't even excite me anymore. And so many women, I just go on and don't even come. I don't even come when I try. It feels like work. Ernie, can I talk to your cock? What? I'd like to interview your penis. Okay. Oh, Mr. Cock. Do you have a name? Oscar. Oh, Oscar. How is it being Ernie's cock? Well, frankly, it's a little used. I mean, and sad. I don't feel much anymore. I feel kind of lost. Like, what's my purpose? Why am I hanging out? Oh, my. And Ernie, he lies. And I can't. I'm the most honest part of him. And he never touches me. I mean, masturbation is inferior to the real thing. Oh, my, Oscar. You know, you are really articulate. I wonder if you would be willing to talk to Ernie from time to time if he asks you. Well, sure. But I don't want to be blamed. Oh, I'm tired of blame. You know, he's not very tender with me. And he doesn't let others be tender with me either. I think I could really help him. Oscar, thank you so much for showing up. Back to Ernie. I suggest you check in with Oscar from time to time, just as friends. And Ernie and I play a game. Right now, I notice. It's a way of getting out of the chatter of the head and into the sensations of the body. But I don't feel sensations. Oh, are you standing or sitting? Sitting. How do you know? Well, I feel the cushion of the chair under my butt. And what else do you notice about your body right now? Well, my hands are on my thighs. Well, one hand's a little to the side, and I'm on one side of my butt more than the other. We go on trading what we notice right now in our body. And to wake up the skin, we do caresses, hand and face caresses. A face caress is light touch, not massage. You take turns. One is the toucher and the other is being touched. One at a time touching slows it down and you can feel more. This works for Ernie. His eyes get blurry, his breath deepens, and Oscar bulges in his pants just from face touch. I don't have to work at it. I mean, I just feel my body and it feels good. Oh, Ernie, she's got some good ideas. When Ernie first came, he called himself a sex addict. And I tell him now, you are a sensitive man, capable of feeling sensation. Maybe your best lovin' is yet to come. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Ernie, he's still starry-eyed when he says goodbye at the door. Says, you know, I could have spent $300 on a girl, but I would have never learned these things. Thank you. I've interviewed many cocks, and I find them humorous. They're persevering, wise. I think they want their bosses often just to slow up and appreciate them for the goosebump times they share. I think, what a great job I have interviewing cocks. And, by the way, I also interview assholes. Time for my temple bath. Join me. Oh, a steamy bath. Reminds me of a man from Houston. He'd been married 50 years and last had sex with his wife 27 years ago. Did you get a little cuddling? Oh, she doesn't much touch me in any way. I mean, it was like 3 weeks after we got married. She said, I don't like sex very much, and if you need it or want it, you can get it elsewhere, though she didn't want to know about it. I never did. I kept hoping she'd change. What did change is he got prostate cancer. His therapist said for him to come and see me. We meet in my class on conscious touch, where I teach my students to ask for what they want instead of hope for it. After class, he confides in me. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna live, but I want to experience real intimacy before I die. I offer this kind soul a session where I bathe and massage him. In my temple bath, I submerge his body into the warm water like a priestess. Pour warm water over his neck and shoulders. Massage his chest with sea salts. He lifts an arm to try to help. No, no, I move your body. You're mine here. You surrender. I find the dip in his neck, his shiny nipples, soap his slippery wand, and play with the webbings of his toes. I'm a temple priestess from forgotten times, preparing a body for the ecstatic union of the gods. Ooh, I trace his fingers, the in-between skin, so sensitive. Did you know that touch is the only sense that grows more acute as we age? The other senses, sight, hearing, taste, diminish. But our skin, more fragile and transparent, pulsating with each heartbeat, increases in sensitivity. Touch becomes more precious. He's in tears. No one's ever bathed me like this before. Since I was a baby, I don't remember it when I was a baby. Must have been wonderful to be adored, to be touched, to be loved. No one's ever touched me like this. On his way home, he stops to give me a call. Driving to Houston, everything, it looks so different. It's bright. I listened to the last movement of the Brahms A minor concerto, and I heard a richness in tone and color I remember hearing when I first heard Brahms. I think my heart is open. Michael's looking for more touch in his life. He was married for 20 years, lost his wife 2 years ago to cancer. He hasn't had much touch for 5 years. He also talks about his grandfather, losing him when he was a boy, and his mother when he was 21. I make space for his grief. I ask him if I could talk to Karen, his wife, through him from the other side, and he agrees. What do you want for Michael? I want him to live fully and find love and pleasure. To help reintroduce Michael to touch, we play a game. Would you, may I? We decide on non-sexual touch and clothes stay on, and turns being 3 minutes, and we time them. I get to be first. Would you rub oil into my feet? He says yes. And I make sure I get it the way I want it. On his turn, he asks, would you run your fingertips on the back of my neck? And I do it, checking in to make sure it's the way he wants it. The next round, I ask Michael, may I touch your broad shoulders? Well, I really don't say broad, but I wanted to. And he says yes, and I get to do it for me. On his turn, he asks, may I run my fingers through your hair? And this time it's for him. This game teaches you who the touch is for. Very important. And lets you be curious about the other and make requests, come to agreements. Some great skills. You know, even if you've had your partner for a long time, you still learn a lot in this game. You get to know them better. And the touch feels safe because you're asking for permission and your body knows what to expect. You don't have to be worried and thinking, oh, am I supposed to be here? You know, am I doing it right? Without worry, the brain is free to feel more. And being timed feels safe. And hones your attention too. You can always make the time frames longer, later, and you can add nudity and you can add sexual touching. But today we're at a beginning level. Michael, after a few turns, says, I got past the fear and went into feeling. I could feel every cell in my body. I can feel the tag on the back of my shirt. And my hands, when I was touching, they felt like they orgasmed. This is a great game. I use it a lot. I suggest to Michael that he find a friend to play with and let his partner know he's getting back into touch and working through grief. Michael, Karen wants you to find love and find pleasure. And you're a lucky man. You can feel orgasms in your hands. Katie's boyfriend kisses her too soon, too hard, too wet. And she doesn't say anything. He goes right for the nipples, doesn't massage the breasts. She doesn't say anything. He goes right for the goods, ignores the rest of the body, and she doesn't say anything. I just don't know how to talk about these things, and I know I need to. Katie, I think we need to do a bossy massage. You get to be the boss, I am the servant, and you get to choose what kind of touch you want on your body and ask for it. And if you say nothing, I do nothing. I only do what you tell me, and you choose what that is. If you request something, and you don't have to, I will do it, your servant, for just a couple minutes. Then I stop and say, boss, let me know if you want something else, okay? That way you get a lot of chance to choose on your body. And you might want to choose some of these sensations to experience them I collected for you. And you get to decide and choose where on your body you get it. Katie gets on the table and she chooses to keep her bra and panties on. Her first request, massage my scalp with medium pressure. I do it the best I know, but I stop pretty soon to ask, any way I can make this better, boss? Yes, less pads of your finger and less tips and more pad, okay? And slower. Oh, thank you. She's getting the hang of being the boss. And she asks for many more things on her body. She chooses the feather, to have it be feathered on her legs. And then she wants a scarf, a silk one, to be floated over her body. And some cornstarch. Yes. Across my upper body, please, the cornstarch. It's the touch of angels. You should try it. She even catches me, the teacher. I asked for small circles on the backs of my legs, and you're on my thighs. Bad teacher. After about an hour of Bossy Massage, and Katie choosing many things and fine-tuning her servant's touch, she shares, I didn't always know what to ask for or what I want, but you let it be nothing sometimes. I like that. And the game, it had a beginning and an end so clear. I thought I would be embarrassed to ask for things, but I wasn't. I suggest to Katie that she play this game with her boyfriend, taking turns on who is the boss. You know, I used to think that sex was about doing things for each other. And my career has taught me more important than doing is choosing. Choosing what happens on your body. Choosing how you share your body. I get goosebumps. Choosing, it is a spiritual act and the heart of erotic pleasure. What a joker. My Uncle Ben, my favorite uncle, starts dressing like a lady, his words, when he's 85 years old, after my Aunt Ellie dies. I call him up. Uncle Ben, I think you're really brave. I think your story might help other people. And I want to come and visit you and bring my camera. Well, I'm not proud of it, but I haven't done anything wrong. My mother, who is very close to her sister Ellie, comes with me to Florida because she wants to play cards with her brother-in-law. When we get to Ben's trailer court, I ask Mom, "Are you nervous?" Because I am. "Oh, honey, with Ellie and I, we've traveled everywhere. You remember my RV? Well, we went all the way to South America. Guadalajara, oh, those streets were so narrow, but Ben drove us through. And always a gentleman and a good Democrat." My mom brought Ben a purple dress with rhinestones in it that she found at a second-hand store. And she clips, "I bet I can still beat him at cards." I get Uncle Ben to tell me his story. He grew up on a farm. His brother's much older, and his dad would do the plowing and the milking. And he was in the house with his mom, doing the cooking and the gardening. As a little boy, he used to sneak up to her closet and play in her clothes. Always sit secret. When he got to high school, he knew he had to stop. Later, he married, had 3 kids, was a good dad to them, and a good husband to Ellie. Oh, I miss her so.
And I missed her so. But after she died, and I had kept this secret all my life, I decided I've only got a short time. I'm going to see what the rest of the world's like. I'm satisfied.
My cousin says he's healthier and happier now. She thought maybe when he went back north to Illinois to his farming community for the summer, he'd dress as a man. But he didn't. It's been a hard time, she says. Uncle Ben, in his red-hot heels, exclaims, "I like jewelry. I like just about everything a man isn't supposed to like." He gives me a pointer. And it's so much better to have a slip built into your skirt. And skirts, oh, so much better than trousers in this Florida heat. And purses, better than pockets. You know, when I get all gussied up, I don't know if they know I'm a guy or not. And I don't care. I know I feel good. I ask him, Uncle Bob, what's something that you really is important to you now? Well, I'd really like the women of the trailer court to maybe ask me to play cards with them. Last night, Mom and I were there. I watched the two of them play cards like they have forever. Uncle Ben always announcing before the last game, this one's for the universe. And the game ends with Uncle Ben pulling two jokers. Do I dare ask a man, after one blind date, to spend 4 nights with him in his New York City apartment? I want to see the city. And I'd have my own bedroom, and I kind of like him. It's a gamble. Paul and I, like 2 kids, explore the Big Apple. He's a photographer and takes me to many shows. And I take him to see a play by Chekhov about a Russian family living desolate, lonely lives. I'm so frustrated with them. I want to yell in the theater, just ask for what you want. Must be the intimacy coach in me. Our last night, Paul serves me homemade soup and cornbread by the fire. But he doesn't stay with me. He goes back and putters in the kitchen. Just my last night, I'm hoping that maybe a little touching time would be so nice with him, but he's never made any inclination like that, and we haven't even held hands. But darn it, Mr. Chekhov, I'm gonna ask for what I want. Paul, would you come and sit with me by the fire? He does. Now I'm nervous. Paul, would you brush my hair? That sounded like a schoolgirl. No, you can do that. I freeze. It's like the gross hand of shame grips me. I can't even speak. Why can't I just say something like, well, sure, I could brush my hair, but it feels so much different when you do it, and better, I'll show you what I like. But no, I'm speechless. Shame is running the show. Shame for what? Shame for wanting? I'm stuck in a Chekhov play. Alone by the fire, I ponder, why are we so afraid of touch? Does touch always mean sex? Like somebody hands us a script. Oh, if you brush my hair, that means I massage your shoulders. That means you touch my breasts. That means I stroke your cock. Are we that unimaginative? Where we can't even be authentic with our touch? Oh, I'm wondering, do we have to say no to all touch because we just can't be authentic and live desperate and lonely lives? How do I get unstuck? It's my last night. I don't want one thing to ruin 4 days of fun. How do I shake off shame? I notice my breath. It's pretty tight. I'm gonna move my body. Yeah. Soul and light. The fire pulls me. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Dance with the flames. My robe. Shed my shame. Oh, I dance for no one. I don't even know if Paul is here. But dance I must. I'll dance my slutty slut. Oh yes. And dance my stuckness. Oh yes. Dance it up. Burned in the flames. Oh, I will dance my goddess. Oh, and dance my shame. Oh, Peter and I like two stars in the night, swirling and twirling towards a curious light. The next morning, in Paul's sunny kitchen, I say goodbye. Thank you for the wonderful time in New York City and for the night before the fire. A few months later, I send Paul this story, and he calls me right away and says, he talks about his difficulty in coming back into intimacy after so many years of drug and alcohol abuse. He says, I don't know how to do it. And we talk. And we have several times since and feel close. I'm not stuck in a Chekhov play. I'm writing my own.